the cloud. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sharon Mayer, CEO of the Allen Fairview Chamber of Commerce, and I wanted to welcome you to the third presentation in our DEI Speakers Series for 2021. Our speaker today is Professor Jeff Willie, and I'm going to give just a little brief introduction. Jeff has been described as inspirational, motivational, dedicated, a visionary, living with a passion and purpose, a lifelong learner, a leader by example, walks in humility, and a servant leader. And I think that I can attest, and those of us who know Jeff, that this is all true. Jeff is the CEO of Jeff Willie Leadership, Executive Director of the John Maxwell Team, Executive Leadership Consultant and Coach, International Speaker, Conflict Resolution Consultant, an Educational Consultant, and a Behavior Analysis Consultant, working with clients in the United States, Japan, Cameroon, Nigeria, Gambia, Ghana, and the Philippines. He is also an Associate Professor for the University of Phoenix, Dallas-Fort Worth campus, facilitating business, leadership, and humanities classes. Jeff has 3 associate's degrees, security administration, personnel administration, and instructor management, bachelor's in corporate training and development, master's degree in organizational and human resource development, graduate certificate in conflict and family mediation, doctoral work in educational leadership. Jeff is married to his high school sweetheart, Pat, for over 43 years, and they have 2 daughters. Dr. Katrina Willie Musoma is a pediatrician. Ursula Willie is an attorney, and he has 1 grandson, Nathan. Jeff's motto, serving and adding to people. People are his business. So help me welcome Professor Jeff Willie. Go ahead, Jeff, it's all yours.
Hey. Oh my, were you talking about me or were you talking about someone else? But I have to make a disclaimer. Since you've received that bio, there's a little granddaughter in the mix right now as well. So I got to give credit because we got to acknowledge these grandkids. You know that once you become a grandparent, you can't leave them out. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for participating in the Allen Fairview Chamber of Commerce Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Series. Sharon, thanks for the introduction. But a heartfelt thank you for the Allen Fairview Chamber of Commerce leadership team, Sharon, Karen, Sandra, and Penny, who work tirelessly serving the community of the Allen Fairview, especially the business community. And thanks to the board, the chairman of the board and the director, the president of the chairman of the board, Paul Hernandez. Thank you for your leadership. I like asking questions. And of course, I have the answers to the questions as well. And we're talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And you notice diversity, equity, and inclusion somehow become a D&I, but I'm going to mix that up just a little bit today. What is equity? That's the first question. You don't have to answer it, don't have to put anything in the chat room, but I want you to kind of ponder about that word itself. What does equity mean? Well, obviously you have to go to Webster, or you just go to Google, one or the other, but obviously I have the meaning in front of me. The term equity refers to fairness and justice, as is distinguishedly different from equality. Equality means providing the same. Equity means recognizing that we do not all start from the same place. That's the key component of that. We do not all start from the same place and must acknowledge and make adjustments and imbalances. I hope you capture that. We do not all start from the same place. That's significant. And sometimes we don't clarify that. Okay, let's go to the next one. How about the word inclusion? That you ponder for, but obviously, hey, if you live by Google, you live by Webster, just go there and we'll come up with a definition, a working definition, and see if it's applicable to what we're talking about. But inclusion, the practice of policy provided equal access to opportunities and resources for people who might otherwise be excluded or marginalized. You capture that? Be excluded disabilities or mental disabilities or others of minority groups. But the key component of that is what? Otherwise excluded or marginalized. Now we get to this term at the beginning of this DEI, we get to deal with this word called diversity. What does diversity mean as you ponder with that definition? Understanding that each individual is unique. And I just make sure you underline that, make sure you bold that. Each of us are unique, and recognizing our individual differences. Wow, man, I could probably preach on that all day long. Unique and our differences. And then it goes into those differences could be race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, social economic status, age, physical abilities, religious belief, political beliefs, or other ideologies. But look at this thing. It said unique, special. Wow, man, I'm special. Thank you for making me feel so special, Shameen. You're absolutely wonderful. Thank you for making me feel so unique. And you recognizing my differences. Okay, we got some working definitions now. So we got the foundation laid. Now let's talk about, I like to always start out with a story and see if we can capture this story and follow my thoughts and where I'm going today with this conversation that we're having. A 24-year-old boy seeing out of the train's window shouted, "Dad, look at the trees. They're going behind." Dad smiled, and a young couple sitting nearby looked at the 24-year-old childish behavior with pity. And suddenly, again, he shouted, "Dad, look at the clouds. They're running with us." The little young couple couldn't resist and said to the old man, "Why don't you take your son to a doctor?" The old man smiled and said, "I did. We are just coming from the hospital. My son was blind from birth. He just got his eyes today." Whew. Oh my goodness. If I'm that young couple, I'm probably under the train by now, but I'm not. But every single person on the planet has a story. Don't judge people before you truly know them. The truth might surprise you. Oh, I can preach on that all day long. Sharon, if I could drop the mic right there, because we do judge people sometimes without knowing the truth. So how do we embrace, how do we honor, and how do we implement diversity, equity, and inclusion? Now I got it back in the right order. I'm going back with the DEI now, not the EID. Okay, I'm not going to give you a formula, but I'm going to share with you 3 words that will transform your thinking and will change your world. The world in your home, the world at the grocery store, the world in the workplace, your world in the community. Not only will I share with you these 3 words that will change your world, but I'm going to give you an action plan to change your world. Remember, those who fail to plan to fail. So take out your notepad. Make notes on your smartphone, because I can guarantee you will learn something you can apply to your life immediately. Make a difference in your world, the world of others today, not someday, today. That someday doesn't exist on my calendar, but today does. So here we go. 3 words are full of action. Are you ready? Let me see a show of hands. Are you ready? I don't see a show of hands out there. Come on, let me make sure you're ready. And see, got your mind all geared up. So here we go. You got your notepad out, ready to write. Okay, here are these 3 words. I'm getting excited. Are you ready? Okay, I know it's gonna be tough for me to say 3 words in one sentence, but I'm gonna try. Here we go. Value every person. Oh, I need to slow down and repeat that, don't I? Let me slow it down. I'm sorry, I probably spoke too fast. Let me slow it down. Here we go again. Let's see. Let's try it again. Value every person. Oh my goodness, Jeff, you telling me 3 words can change the world? Those 3 words can change my community. Those 3 words can change the atmosphere at the grocery store. Those 3 words can change the atmosphere at my church, my synagogue, my mosque. Absolutely. So I got a question for you, and just a statement. When you interact with others, what determines how you will treat them? Status or their title? CEO, of course, I'm gonna treat the CEO just slightly different, right? Most likely we do. Sharon, the CEO on here today, absolutely. Is it determined what they've done for you in the past or what they might be able to do for you in the future? Does it change based on how much you like them or how much you think they like you? Well, it may be human nature to treat people differently according to the situation, but the high standard of interaction with others is the golden rule, meaning treating others as you want to be treated. See, the golden rule is a version appearing in every culture around the globe, in every religion. The golden rule is the closest thing we have for a universal guideline to treat other people. No matter what religion you come from, that golden rule has existed. And so once you get to know them, you treat them the way they want to be treated. Valuing others is not for what they can do for you, but simply because they are human beings is the foundation. You know, let me say that they are human beings is the foundation of the golden rule. It is the key to success in all our lives, because the keys to success is working with people. I can't do this by my April. I just can't. I need you, April. I need you, Carla. I see Carla. I need you, Karen. I need you, Penny. I need you, so because I can't do this by myself, and I need to treat you well. And because of the golden rule, because I have to work with people. I cannot become successful by myself. So working with people, since we're unique, we have diverse backgrounds, you don't know my story. So that value in people, value in every person becomes the foundation, becomes the way we change our world. Because no one likes it when others ignore them, take advantage of them, or hurt me. All people at the core are very similar in how they want to be treated, no matter our age, no matter our gender, no matter our race, no matter our nationality, no matter our politics. But I'm going to give you 4 truths on how you can treat people and how people want to be treated. 4 truths, just 4. I know that's a lot of notes. I didn't mean to bring you in the classroom today. You have to take all these notes. But one thing about life and notes itself, you got to have an action plan. Because I call people to action, a call to action, make it happen. So here are these 4 truths, just 4. And it's something that you already know. How about a refresher course? Every person wants to be valued. That's number 1. Every person wants to be valued. Have you ever been made to feel worthless by another person? Don't raise your hand, please don't. And don't call out their name. Don't call out their name. Don't do that. Don't do that. But if so, knowing how important the value people are, deep down, all people want to feel mattered. They want to feel valued. That's simple. Because when you value people, I'm sorry, I can sense it. I can sense it. When you don't value me, I can sense it. Absolutely. According to Theodore Roosevelt, you've heard this quote by other people. I've heard it several times. But when I did my research, I came up with this gentleman that canned this quote many years ago. And his name is Theodore Roosevelt. And he said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Okay, that's number 1. That's simple. You know this stuff already. You know this. I'm not giving you, this is not what I call chemistry or science. This is basic, simple things that so that's number 1. Every person wants to be valued. Number 2, ready? Got your notepad out? How about this? How about this one? Okay, this one's gonna rock your world. I'm sure, don't fall out of your chair, Carl. us. Don't you stop. Don't you call it, please. Make sure you pay attention. I see you driving out there. Every person wants to be appreciated. Uh-oh. How about that one? Everyone had something to contribute. All people enjoy when their contributions are appreciated by others. I like what Daniel Laird said about this. Develop my skill in making every person feel important. Develop my skill to help every person feel important. Goes back to valuing every person. There is hardly a high compliment I can pay to an individual in helping them or her to be helpful and find satisfaction in their usefulness. Oh my goodness. Okay, if I'm talking to some parents out there, please listen, take some notes, because that young rascal, that young teenager wants to be appreciated. That was number 2. How about this one? Number 3, don't fall out of your chair. Please just be careful, Frito. Don't fall out of your chair, Frito. Every person wants to be respected. Oh, this rocket science stuff, isn't it? I'll tell you what, every person wants to be respected. The respect of those you respect is worth more than the applause of the multitude. Most people desire to be respected by their loved ones, the people they work with, the people they work for, their colleagues. And guess what? It costs me nothing to respect others, yet it gives them so much dignity, respect, self-respect, and confidence. Costs me absolutely zero to respect people, to say hello to the person at the gas station, at the grocery store that's bagging my groceries, and treat them with such dignity and respect. You'd be surprised the impact when that person is bagging your groceries at Tom Thumbs or Kroger's or wherever you shop for groceries. And are you buying these Christmas gifts? I know some of you are going to be out buying all these holiday gifts. And you see a name tag and say, "Thank you, John, for bagging my groceries. Thank you, John, for wrapping that gift." Don't you know when you call out John's name, you're amazing how John feels inside. He may not express it on the outside, but I can tell you, John is bubbling on the inside because he feels respected, he feels appreciated. Number 4, every person wants to be understood. And understanding people means I'm extending myself to them and meeting them at their level, putting the burden on myself, not on them to understand them. I'm putting the burden on myself. When you make the effort to know others, you may discover that they think and act differently because they haven't or don't have the advantages that you and I have. And they may be reacting to a condition that's out of their control. So we must seek first to understand, and then we will be understood. That's one of the 7 habits of highly effective people by Stephen Covey. But to put the burden on me to understand another person, not on them, go out of our way. And so that was number 4. Every person wants to be understood. Every person wants to be respected. Every person wants to be appreciated. And every person wants to be valued. That wasn't too tough, was it? I didn't think so. No. But we're talking diversity, equity, and inclusion. How do we get there? Value every person. How about this one? Now, since you value every person, and we are a selfish being, it's all called what's in it for me. What value? What's in it for me? How do I benefit from valuing every person? It's called WIFM. Some of you familiar with that acronym, WIFM, what's in it for me? But guess what happens when you value other people? Or when I value every people, I need to make this personal. When I value every person, I become less selfish. And then I could also say you become less selfish. Our attitude becomes more positive. Oh my goodness, and I like this one. I become more likable and attractive to everyone around me. You become more likable and attractive to everyone around you. And by valuing every person, we learn from others because we see value in them. We learn from from others because we see value in them. I'm open to them. And for those who work in the workplace or have families, you receive greater contributions from your team members and foster greater teamwork. So that's our selfish motive. I become more attractive. I know some of you probably don't have a problem with that. You're so attractive right now. You don't need to become more attractive, but I do. Okay. I need to become more likable, more positive. And so this is for me that I am speaking to myself today, and I'm learning from myself. Now, as I stated earlier, you got to have an action plan. You got to have an action plan. You got to put this in. How do I do this, Jeff? Willie? Well, this is how you do it. And so when you get off this call today, you can log off and you can immediately put what we're talking about and what I'm sharing with you in action today, not someday when you go home. If you have coworkers in your business right now, you can put this into place, and this is not rocket science. So what action plan? The first thing you need to do, don't think less of yourself, think less about yourself and more about others. Now, did you grab that? Did you grab that? Don't think less of you. You have some phenomenal gifts. So don't think less of yourself. Just think less about yourself and more about others. See, it's difficult to value people if you focus only on yourself and your own interest. Yeah, you got to get out of your way and think more about others. But people who do value others, I can tell you, they often don't. People that devalue others, and you and I both know this, they often don't get ahead in life. You know why? Because we are a team and we need other people to be successful. Success is fulfilling. Success is fulfilling. And when you don't value people, the expense of success is ultimately unfulfilling. So giving is a lot more rewarding. Spend time thinking more about others and thinking more about them. Because I like what Henry Ward Beecher said about this. No man is more cheated than the selfish man. Think about that. No man is more cheated than the selfish man. Become unselfish. Number two, action plan number two. Here we go. Practice the golden rule. That's all you gotta do. Practice the golden rule. Everyone wants to be respected, appreciated, understand. It does. Guess what? It doesn't require an education. It doesn't require talent. It doesn't require any skills. You don't have to be successful. The only thing is required that you do what's right and follow through. Be intentional about valuing people, appreciating people, and respecting people consistently, even when they do you incorrectly or wrong, or they have wronged you. If you reciprocate in kindness, love is the only thing that I know in my world that can drive out hate. Love and value in people. That was number two. Now, this number three, you got to really think about this one. I'm going to challenge your mindset on number three. And that's the last one, number three. Whew, this is going to challenge us a little bit, okay? So be ready. Seeing everyone as a 10, one being the less, 10 being the best. And now your responsibility is to see everyone as a 10. Oh, Jeff, I got a lot of people that I cannot put 10 on label on them in my life. But guess what? If you want to value people, you want to respect people, once you have a positive mindset, you start seeing them as a 10. Speak as though you want them to become, not as they are. And that self-fulfilling prophecy, be surprised, you might shift some behaviors if you start seeing them as a best. See the gifts in them. Assume the best in people and the best for them. Even though they might not be behaving as a 10, we know that we have some people in our life that, hey, they're just not behaving as a 10. but to seek first to understand, see them as a 10. And once you start seeing them as a 10, you'd be surprised, because every time you see them, you affirm them. Hey, they're a great person. Hey, my number 10. And they may be. I was a high school teacher. I can tell you guys, I saw some behavior that I just didn't want to see. But then again, absolutely. But I learned to embrace, because you can modify behavior and change behavior. It's you treat them with respect anyway. Because when that person is misbehaving and behaving out of sort, they just asking for a little respect and a little attention. They really saying, could you appreciate me? Could you respect me? Can you value me? And you respond in a positive way, you'd be surprised how you shift their ability and their self-esteem and their confidence, and they grow and they grow. When you see them, I know I challenged you with that one. I know I did, because you know some people in your life, you're like, hey, they're not even a number 1. But when you can see them as a 10, that challenge us to look inside ourselves and treat people with love, respect, and dignity, and see them as a 10. Because treat people well, eventually they will treat you well. Absolutely. So here we are, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Those 3 words: value every person. Every person wants to be valued. Every person wants to be appreciated. Every person wants to be respected. Every person wants to be understood. You can change your world. You can change your home. You can change your community. You can change the grocery store. You can change the gas station. You can change your synagogue. You can change your mosque. You can change your church. You can change your community. Don't think less of yourself. Think less about yourself and more about others. Practice the golden rule and see everyone as a 10. Steve Jobs. I love this quote by Steve Jobs. This is my closing quote by Steve Jobs. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that do. Are you crazy enough to change your world? Are you crazy enough to value every person? If you are, change your world today. Ladies and gentlemen, go out and change your world. Thank you, Sharon, for allowing me to be part of this series, and thank you for allowing me to share a few comments today. You are muted, Sharon. You're muted, Sharon.
And I thought I had this all working out so perfectly. That's all right. Thank you. Thank you for providing us with this much needed reminder. I think especially right now, we're all a little bit weary. The year's coming to an end. We're coming up on one of the best holidays that we could possibly have. And we've got a lot of personal things going on, but the other side of that is this reminder is just exactly what I needed to hear today. So thank you very much. I don't know if we do have time for questions. I don't know if anybody has a question or comments. If you do, just raise your hand or do that little hand thing down here under the reactions, and I will call on you. If not, let me see if anybody has anything. Nobody's raising a hand. Okay, then Jeff, guess
I'll say something. What you talked about, and I know you kind of made it a little sarcastic, like don't fall off your chair, but you're absolutely right. We talk about the golden rule all the time. I mean, I think every program, it's so simple, right? Yet none of us, including myself, sometimes I forget to practice it. And what you said about think less about yourself and more about other people, not less of yourself. That little play on word, like the one word really changed the whole, definition. So it was great. Thank you.
Thank you for that feedback, Shameen. Absolutely.
Any other comments? Okay, Jeff, I'm going to give you back 28 minutes of your day.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate this. I really appreciate, hopefully that it resonates. And as Shameen said, and as Karen said, we all need a refresher every now and then to remind it of who we are and what we stand for and what's significantly important. Absolutely. I got Demetria saying thank you. And it was great to see Miss Carla Spam, my dentist on the line. Oh, I don't have any tooth problems today,
Oh, that's great.
Dr. Spam. But I will be coming to
great.
visit.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.